Ever wondered why you look or even taste the way you do? Well, you can thank or blame your DNA. It's behind everything. Your glutes, your hair, even how bitter your morning coffee feels. Some traits are pure luck, like hitting a genetic jackpot. Others, you can train or tweak them over time. Before we dive deeper, hit that like button if you're curious about what your DNA hides. Take the shape of your glutes, for example. It's basically written into your genetic code. Which one you get depends on three key things: the way your pelvic bones are built, where your fat prefers to hang out, and how your muscles attach to those bones. Sure, you can't change your bone structure, but you can absolutely level up what you've got by building muscle, managing fat levels, and choosing workouts that fit your body type. And your pelvis? It can literally tell you which exercises will bring you the best results. That's the wild thing about genetics. It's like a slot machine. Every now and then, someone hits the jackpot and gets the perfect body for a specific sport. Of course, athletes can train, bulk up, and sharpen their skills. But there are limits. Height, wingspan, hand size. These are things you simply can't fake. And on an elite level, even the smallest genetic edge can make all the difference. What about you? Do you think your genetics give you any kind of natural advantage? Tell us in the comments. Becoming a pro is insanely hard. Only about 1.2% of college basketball players ever make it to the NBA. That's why even micro-level genetic differences matter. And yes, some people literally have sports genes. Take the ACE gene, for example. It's linked to blood pressure and muscle growth. Depending on which version you inherited, it can give you either beast-level endurance or Hulk-like strength. Olympic swimmers often carry the power version. No surprise, since their races are short and explosive. Elite runners, though, tend to have the endurance version, especially those crushing long-distance events. Then there's the ACTN3 gene, also known as the speed gene. It controls your fast-twitch muscle fibers, the ones you use to sprint, jump, or lift heavy. There are three possible combinations, depending on what you got from your parents. And here's the mind-blowing part. In Kenya, 99% of people have at least one sprint copy of this gene. No wonder the country produces so many world-class runners. But of course, genetics isn't the whole story. Evolution and environment play huge roles too. The Kenyan tribe, for instance, makes up less than 0.1% of the global population but claimed nearly 40% of all international distance running medals in the late 80s and 90s. Why? Because they live in the Great Rift Valley, at high altitude, where the air's thin, forcing their bodies to adapt with extra red blood cells for oxygen. Add in a hot, dry climate that favors tall, lean bodies and a strong running culture, and you've got a marathon-producing machine. In fact, 6 of the 10 fastest marathon times ever recorded came from that very region. Pretty fascinating, right? If you're enjoying this breakdown, make sure you're subscribed and tap the notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into human biology. Genes also affect how you taste food. Scientists discovered that a single gene determines how bitter certain foods taste, and that one gene can completely change how you feel about vegetables. Everyone has 2 copies of it. If you've got 2 AVI copies, congratulations, you're immune to bitterness. 1 AVI and 1 PAV? You'll sense a little bitterness, but it's manageable. 2 PAVs? You're what researchers call a supertaster. And for you, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cabbage taste like poison. Even coffee or dark chocolate might feel like punishment. Researchers found that supertasters are 2.5 times less likely to eat vegetables, and they don't mask the taste with sugar or salt. They just avoid them completely. So maybe your taste buds aren't picky. It's just your DNA. A lot of people think genes are like a menu. Brown hair, check. Risk of heart problems, maybe. Your parents and grandparents mix their genetic ingredients together, and out comes your own unique recipe. But here's the twist. Even your reaction to stress might be written on that recipe card, and not just for you, but for your kids and grandkids too. If that blew your mind, drop a "ants" in the comments and tell me what you think about stress being inherited. Studies back this up. At Penn State, scientists stressed out a bunch of lizards. Pretty rude, right? And while the adults seemed fine, their babies were way more anxious under stress. Then there were the mice. Researchers trained them to fear the smell of cherry blossoms. And guess what? Their offspring were terrified of the same smell, even though they'd never been exposed to it. This is called epigenetics. Your DNA doesn't change, but certain switches flip on or off depending on what you experience. Usually these switches reset for the next generation, but not always. Sometimes stress markers slip through and echo down the family line. So next time you're stressing over a missed deadline, just remember, your DNA might be taking notes. Your genes might also affect how fast your cuts and scrapes heal. Bacteria inside a wound can slow recovery, but even with similar bacteria, healing speed varies from person to person. Turns out, genetics plays a role here too. Certain genes influence how many types of bacteria set up shop in a wound. The more diverse your wound bacteria, the faster it tends to heal. Other factors like age, illness, and ancestry matter, but studies suggest that just 6 genetic sites explain over half of the differences in wound microbiomes between people. Now let's talk about your teeth. Your ancestry explains a lot about their size, shape, and structure. And believe it or not, some traits actually come from Neanderthals. Researchers studied nearly 900 people in Colombia, each with a mix of European, Native American, and African ancestry. They 3D scanned their teeth and compared the data to their DNA. They discovered 18 genetic regions responsible for tooth traits, 17 of them completely new. One Neanderthal gene appeared only in people of European descent, giving them thinner front teeth. Europeans generally had smaller teeth overall. Meanwhile, a gene called ED, already known to affect front teeth in East Asians, was found to influence the width of all teeth. Some of these genes even link to dental issues like missing or malformed teeth. In the future, dentists might use this info for genetic testing or even personalized treatments. Imagine your dentist checking your DNA before fixing your teeth. Would you try that if it existed? Comment yes if you would. Your hair is another genetic masterpiece. Its texture, color, thickness, and growth rate are all coded into your DNA. The shape of your hair follicles determines the type. Round follicles give you straight hair. Oval or twisty ones create waves, curls, or coils. Even pattern baldness is largely genetic. Some hair follicles are hypersensitive to hormones, causing them to shrink and thin out over time. Curly hair? That's a team project involving multiple genes. The TCHH gene helps shape your hair shaft and increases your odds of curliness. Others, like EDAR and FGFR2, also pitch in. Curly hair is usually dominant, meaning if even one parent passes it down, you're likely to have curls. Straight hair, on the other hand, is recessive. You need both parents' versions for it to appear. And because so many genes work together, you can have curly, wavy, and straight hair all in the same family. Remember in school when they said your earlobes were either attached or free-hanging? Just a simple dominant versus recessive thing? Well, not exactly. A massive study of 75,000 people found at least 49 genes that influence earlobe shape. Researchers started with 10,000 participants and found only 6 genes. Then they expanded to 65,000 more, and the number jumped to 49. So yeah, your DNA isn't just a list of instructions. It's a masterpiece of chance, history, and tiny twists that make you you. That's it for today. If this video satisfied your curiosity, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon so you don't miss any of our future deep dives into the science of who we are. And hey, share this video with your friends who always say, "It's just genetics." Let's see if they're right.